You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind. Well, great afternoon and welcome to another wonderful session of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. And I'm your host, Annette Harris. Thank you so much for joining us on today, for watching and or listening. Before we go further, I must acknowledge the Lord in prayer. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've blessed us to see. The sun is coming out. We are live. We are well. We ask you to get the glory out of today's session, and everything we go to say and do is the first part of Hosea 4 and 6. And it states, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, we're grateful to be here. That scripture is pertinent, of course, to every topic, especially today's topic. We want to gain as much knowledge as we can while we're here in this present world. And I am excited. I see you guys coming in on the Facebook Live feed. I want to let you know there are three different ways that you can listen to us and watch us on today. I do have my live feed going on my personal page, Annette, known as Annette. And then also, we're on YouTube on my channel. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? Please take a moment and do so. Go ahead to YouTube, type in MBSWANET. That is the acronym for the show. Get Caught in the Net. And subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell so you'll know when I go live, okay? I would appreciate that. So we're on there live right now. And then also on the station's website, intellectualradio.com. You can hear us there as well. So I'm excited. I am frantic on today because I have a wonderful guest in the studio with me, and I am going to pull up her bio, but I'm going to ask her right now. Oh, Dr. Shala? Is Shala or Shala?
Yes.
You guys, I just told her before the show, I said, I hate mispronouncing individuals' names because I feel like it's a disrespect. So I'm not going to even try her last name on today. But this beautiful woman of God is here in the studio. How are you doing on this afternoon?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me on today. I reached out to her and I said, oh my goodness, I had to remind her that I met her a few years ago. She probably didn't remember me, but that's okay. I remembered her. So I wanted her to come on my show because I've been watching her on Facebook and noticing how the Lord has been blessing her. And I wanted her to come on and share with my guests on today everything that she's doing. But let me see if I can pull up her bio so that I can introduce her to many of you and or present her to some of you. Let's see. Dr. Shala is the vibrant and innovative CEO and founder of Balance with Dr. Shala, LLC. She is a certified professional life coach, corporate and conference speaker, #1 Amazon best-selling author, and triple licensed internal medicine physician. So I told you guys earlier, she's not, one of those physicians that you can go online and kind of, and then you say you're a doctor. She's really a doctor, okay? She put in her hard work. She put in her hard work and everything. Okay.
On 3 continents.
Oh, wow. See? Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay. She started her career as a medical doctor, but her passion for helping people go to the next level of their lives led her, into public speaking, writing, and professional coaching. She helps busy professionals live burnout and stress free lives. I need that by teaching them to create lives of balance and total life harmony. As a professional life coach, she offers workshops, seminars, keynote speaking, and coaching geared towards achieving your personal growth through living a life of balance and total harmony. How many of you all are listening to me? You really need this, okay? Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Tell somebody we're on, okay? She works with organizations to improve staff members' health, engagement, and productivity through a focus on personal health, life balance, confidence, and personal power. She does this through lunch and learns. Is that right?
Lunch and learns, yes.
Okay, seminars and workshops. She has been featured on Fox 32 News,
I feel honored to have her on here today. HuffPost, WVON Radio, iHeartRadio, and BlackDoctor.org. And I know many of you all have hopped on there so you can see what was wrong with you. You know, you went on blackdoctor.org to try and find, type in your symptoms. She's been featured on that. Okay. She has also been a guest on Outcome Health TV, an educational health TV network, which airs in all 50 states of the United States, including University of Chicago, Kaiser, is that Permanente?
Yes.
And Stanford University. British born of Nigerian and Guyanese descent, she is married with 2 children and lives in Chicago, Illinois. When she is not working, she can be found writing, traveling, reading, dancing, or watching cartoons. Welcome again. Relaxing. That's the relaxing part, right?
Yes.
Welcome again to Mind, Body, and Soul, Dr. Sharla. And she is here with us on this afternoon, and she is going to share with us on today. I always tell people I'm excited. They say, why are you so excited every week? Well, number one, I'm still alive. I'm here. And I'm doing what God has instructed me to do. So that's number one. And then being able to come on Mind, Body, and Soul every week to share with you my guests and their projects and all that they're doing. Many of you know that Mind, Body, and Soul came into existence. It'll be 6 years in November.
Wow.
Yes. And so we actually come on, we talk about everything, 2 major aspects that we focus on: psychology and the spiritual aspects of everyday life.
Okay.
And you know that those 2 normally don't come together, but we push them together here on Mind, Body, and Soul.
Because it's all one, right? You really can't separate them.
You
when
cannot.
It comes down to it.
You cannot.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for joining us on today.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I mean,
you so much for
this
having
woman, I'm telling you, she's phenomenal. From what I've read in the book, her bio, watching her on Facebook, she does so much. So we're not even only going to talk about her project today, but she has so many other areas that she touches on. She's a life coach. I mean, seriously, guys, she does so much on today, and I think it will be beneficial for you all to make sure you stay tuned on today and listen to what she has to say. Lydia, I see you on. Buddy Gill. Hope Miles, hey, how are you? Thanks for watching. Buddy says, good afternoon, everybody. And hello, ladies. Well, hello back at you, buddy. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Physician, heal yourself. I think I want to start there because I read this book from front to cover. Front cover to back cover, should I say. And I enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank you.
I am not a doctor by trade, but I saw in here because the cover itself says physician, heal yourself, 10 remedies for a complete life makeover for doctors. And it has here from one doctor to another. Well, this is not only for doctors. It definitely is not. Is this your quote? Whose quote is this up here? I wish I had read a book like this a decade ago.
This person, the person who wrote this is actually the head of HIV services in the core center of Cook County Hospital.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And they said that. Yeah. I love this. Yeah. Hey, Mama Gwen. Let me say this before we even start getting into talking about this book. I want to say that, many times, okay, those of us who are not in the medical profession, who are not doctors, we may or may not understand what you all as doctors have to face.
Yes.
We just know we're coming to you.
Yep.
So that you can either diagnose or whatever, or help us with whatever we have going on in our bodies. Okay.
Yep. And we love to do that.
Right.
We love to help people see people healthy and get better.
Definitely. But there's other sides to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's one of your quotes in there about you're not a doctor? What? Oh God, you got to help me. Look, wait. I didn't look. You see throughout. I'm highlighted.
I'm so flattered.
I have highlighted all throughout this book. I really am.
I'm so flattered.
But this was good. I'm telling you, it was so good, and I'm going to take this stuff in for myself. Let's back up. Let me ask you the purpose for writing this book. What was your main purpose? You see if I can help another doctor. I'm going to talk about a life makeover. Why pen this book?
The simple reason is that a lot of doctors are not happy. Okay. And the reasons for that are myriad. Of course, everyone goes through life things, and doctors too go through life things,
Right.
right? One of the biggest challenges doctors face in this country is the pressure from the healthcare systems, insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, and their organizations, and then pressure from, I wouldn't even say pressure from patients, because it's not really that. I would say the demands of patient care that have nothing to do with patient care.
Mm.
For
Okay.
example,
Okay.
in order for me to, I would say, okay, there's one big problem doctors always complain about, which is the notes that we have to write. These computer notes are not, the way the systems are made, are not user friendly. So doctors end up spending more time with their computers than with their patients. And we don't like that.
Wow.
And then what happens is they get blamed.
The doctors.
Yeah. Well, I just went to that doctor's office and they were on the computer the whole time and they didn't even look at me. If I went to a doctor's office and they were on the computer the whole time, after I paid my ever rising copay costs, came in through rain, snow, sleet, and hail, took me 3 months to get an appointment. I don't want to come and sit in front of a doctor who's just
On his computer.
And you know the funny thing? Doctors don't want to
Okay.
do that either.
Wow.
Doctors don't want to come across as not having compassion. Doctors don't want to make their patients feel as if they're not listened to. And having said not just that, the things the patients tell us are the things that will help us diagnose them. But because of the demands for the regulations demand that doctors keep these charts this way, in a way that's not user friendly. It's like being between a rock and a hard place. You have to go with the regulations, but you have to take care of the patients. Honestly, there's no doctor on earth that was sitting in medical school one day and say, one day I'm going to be a doctor and do a lot of charts. No.
Okay. All right.
It's one day I'm going to be a doctor and I'm going to help all these people. I'm going to cure them. I'm going to help them. And doctors tend to be pretty idealistic in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons I wrote this book was to help my fellow doctors to try to find a way out in themselves. I also actually partner with other organizations where we go into hospitals and help health organizations work with their doctors and their staff. So like you said, I have a lot of things, a lot of irons in the fire. So it's a two-sided thing. So this is from me to the doctors, but I'm also doing my part working with the organizations to help doctors be able to practice better, do better for their patients, better for themselves, live longer, because what we're finding is that there's a very high rate of physician suicide in this country.
Now that blew me away when I read that in your book. I don't know. I don't think I ever knew that.
It's covered up for the most part.
And then, when I read that, then I said, okay, I can kind of understand a little bit, because I mean, like you say, I mean, you all are people too. That's even though you've chosen to go into this field, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot that you have to deal with. And like you said, you are basically, as a doctor, you are, almost kind of fighting with wanting to, I want to tend to my patient, but you have to do your charts. So it's all the other responsibilities that you have to take care of that's kind of getting in the way.
And you have 15 minutes to see that same patient. We've probably sat here for more than 15 minutes just saying hello.
Right. And then, some of you all that are on here too, you probably understand when I say this, a lot of times, and we've all said this, when we go to a doctor, they don't have any bedside manner. They just came in for like 5 minutes and I barely got a chance to tell them what was going on with me, and they're back out the door again.
Yep.
As patients, coming in, that has been our biggest cry.
Yeah, and as doctors, don't forget, we are patients too.
Right.
I mean, I've had 2 children. I've had to go to the hospital for different things. I've had to take my kids. So we're patients too. So we feel it.
So you didn't deliver your own children.
That second one almost, okay, that's another story for another day.
Oh my, really?
Yeah, I didn't know I was in labor. Yeah, I'm a doctor and I didn't know I was in labor. Yeah, another story for another day.
I was about to ask, were you kind of like, okay, I'll wait, and then go like, oh no, she's
I
almost
legit
here.
didn't know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I know. When you're a doctor, you can't doctor yourself.
That is
It's so bad, yeah.
interesting. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Wow.
second one was about to become a bathroom floor baby.
Are you?
Um,
Well, thankfully, everything worked out, right? Was that boy or girl? You
a
have
girl. I'd have two girls.
two girls.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I actually have a cousin of mine whose husband actually had to deliver the child at home. So,
Wow.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. So we too feel it from our colleagues when it's like, this dynamic isn't right.
Yeah.
This dynamic isn't right.
Okay. So you've given us the reason why you chosen to write this book. What were your hesitations with it? Or did you have any hesitations in even writing it? I mean, I know you're kind of looking around, you're seeing what you all as doctors are faced with and everything. So you decided to write this book, but did you say, okay, I'm going to write this, but I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness, did I ever? I wrote this book in 2017.
Did you?
Yes. And if you look at the top, it says, when I talked about Dear Doctors, let me get to that real quick.
Okay.
It says it's 2019. We have record rates. It was when it was, I didn't realize that I hadn't changed it from 2017 until it had gone to the printer. We brought back the proof. I'm like, oh yeah, it's still saying 2017. I wrote this book in 2017, but like you said, the hesitation. The first thing was, what doctor is going to want to listen to me? That was the
Right.
first thing. Like, they don't want to listen to you. Who are you? I mean, you've not been around very long. I mean, there've been doctors who've been practicing for like 50 years. I mean, I've been in the business for 18 years, which is not a lot. I mean, it's like teenager.
Oh yeah. Okay. Compared to many of them. So
But
at this point, you had been in the field for how long?
So at that point, I'd been in the field so if we add to 2000, so now would make it, I think, 18 years. So I would say 16,
Okay.
17 years.
Okay.
So practice in Nigeria, practice in England, practiced here. I did my residency here, and I worked out in the community in Aldgate Gardens, and then I started working for Advocate Medical Group, and then I retired in 2016. So
Wow.
but I was really hesitant. It was,
Okay.
what doctor is going to want to listen to me? That was the first thing. And for years, my life coaches, my business coaches had said to me, you seem to have a passion for doctors, and when you talk about the issues they have, you light up and you seem to want to help them. What's the problem? You need to do something for your colleagues. And I'm like, no, who's going to want to listen to me? Oh my goodness.
So you were doubting yourself.
I was filled with self-doubt.
Okay.
I was filled with the life coach, right? Who was telling people to go for it and be confident and don't doubt yourself and you're worthy and you deserve it. Yeah. It took them years to talk me into this. So yes, I did have self-doubts, primarily about what doctor's going to listen to me. But, I just took the jump and apparently proved myself wrong.
Yeah, there you go. You did. Indeed, you did. Okay, great. I think what I want to do right now is actually take a quick break. Let me see. Yeah, we'll do a quick break. If you can play a little bit of music, and then we'll come back for more with Dr. Shala. And we don't want you all to go away, okay? You listen to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette right here on Intellectual Radio.
The people won the battle down in the valley. Great things happen. Great things happen. When shepherds worship. When shepherds worship. Yeah, miracles. Miracles happen. Yeah. When shepherds worship. You need to know. Great things happen. When shepherds worship. When shepherds worship. And victory happens. When our hands are raised, when our hands are raised, men of God, and worship is what we do. We love to praise. We must go to that place before we can leave you. So let us worship Him in spirit. Worship Him in truth for all that He's already done and everything He will do, because great things happen when shepherds worship and miracles Miracles happen when shepherds pray. When shepherds pray. Everybody needs to know. Great things happen when shepherds worship. When shepherds worship. Victory happens when our hands are raised. Nehemiah 8:6 says that Ezra praised the Lord, the great God, and all the people shouted, Amen, as they lifted their hands. Then they bowed down with their faces to the ground and they worshiped the Lord. I want everybody under the sound of my voice right now to help us say, we give you praise. All of our days is to you. That our hands are raised. Hallelujah. We give you praise, God. We give you glory for who you are. Come on, help us say it tonight. We give you praise. All of our days is to you. That our hands are raised. We lift our hands in worship. We lift our hands in praise, and we give you glory. We give you praise. All of our days, it is to you. Our hands are raised. When we think of all you've done, when we think of your goodness, we lift our hands in praise. We lift our hands and we worship you. We lift our hands in praise. We praise you, Lord, for all that you do. We lift our hands in praise. There's nobody like you, Jesus, worthy of all the glory. We worship you. We worship you, our King. We will sing. Yes, we live. We lift our hands in praise.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. And it is Wednesday, May 1st. It is a totally new month, and we're excited to be here. You guys on my Facebook live feed, I apologize. I did have a little technical difficulty with that last live feed. So when you come back into this one, go ahead and like and share for me if you would not mind, to get this out. And hopefully there wasn't much that you missed that we discussed in the last half hour. If you're just now joining us, go ahead and let someone know that Mind, Body, and Soul is on by sharing, if you would not mind. We're here with Dr. Shala, and she has been telling us about this wonderful book that she has written, Physician, Heal Yourself. We've talked about already the reason why she penned this book, and so many things. Like I told her, I did not know that doctors had been facing. We as patients, consumers, if you will, think that it's all about us when we go into the doctor's office. But there's so much more that we need to understand and realize what they are dealing with themselves. I will open up the phone lines if you do have questions or comments, or you just want to say hi to us. You can do that on today. The number is 708-223-8953. Again, 708-223-8953. We would love to hear from you on today. So let's see here. Dr. Shala, let's see.
Yes.
I'm going to tag you into this new live feed so you will have it as well.
Perfect.
I see Angie Mims is on and Michaela is on. Thanks for watching, Brandy. Yeah, you guys go ahead and share this one for me because the first one ended. So we want to make sure the second one is out there as well. Okay. So, Physician, Heal Yourself. Okay.
Physician, Heal Yourself.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know where I want to start. First, why don't we start here? Why don't you tell everybody where they can get your book while I get to my pages here?
Okay. My book, you can find my book at sholaezeokoli.com. Shola, that's SHOLAEZEOKOLI. People always miss the second E. It's easy. sholaezeokoli.com. That's my little piece of the internet. And it's a secure website. You can order the book there. If you want the Kindle version, just go to Amazon and type in my name and Physician, Heal Yourself.
All right. And you will find it because this book is definitely, it's out there. and people are buying it. So we want you to buy it as well.
Exactly. We do.
So with that being said, even when we go through it on today, let me know how much you want to get into, because we want to encourage people to purchase it as well. So
Yes.
we don't want to
give the whole farm away, right?
She said, "Give the whole." I love her. She is so enthusiastic, and she will make you laugh. Okay, she doesn't realize it, but she will make you laugh. Okay, so you got over your hesitation, obviously, because you penned the book, wondering whether or not individuals or doctors were going to listen to you.
Yes.
At that point, a 16-year veteran, if you will.
If you will. Yes.
And she calls it a baby because there's so many doctors that have been practicing medicine for so long. Your desire to help, obviously the doctors, is what catapulted or propelled you to go ahead and pen this.
Yes.
Were you surprised at some of their reactions at first? Maybe even before. Now let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell any doctors as you were writing it that this is what you were going to do?
I told one person.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I told my husband that I'm writing, I think I must have said, I'm writing another book, something. Yeah, I'm writing another book. Man. He's a doctor himself.
Is he?
Yes. He is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Wow.
Shout out to Dr. Dozier Zokoli.
Yes, I love it.
He's hardly ever on Facebook, so he's probably not going to see this.
You have to show it to him when you get home, right?
Yes, he's at work.
Okay, sorry. She's not today. She's here with me.
I know.
But okay, so that's great. So, obviously, is your background your parents or other individuals in your family doctors?
So I am the first doctor in my family.
Okay.
Yes. Both, my nuclear family and my extended family. I have a baby cousin who's a cardiologist. Hey, Edmund. But baby cousin, let him hear me.
Right.
But I'm the first doctor in my family. But my mother's a nurse. My father's a chemist. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not, sometimes we can write things based off of what we see our families go through or something like that. So you really just had a sincere desire just to help doctors in general.
Yes.
Okay.
And the weird thing I tell people is that coming to America to practice medicine is kind of like the dream.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us why.
So as a doctor in Nigeria, I worked there. And then I went and lived in England for a bit. I worked there. And then my boyfriend lived in America. He's my husband for 15 years. He's like, he felt that America had more opportunities for people like us.
Okay.
To be able to practice and be able to, do the things that we always dreamed of doing, in terms of technology, in terms of just patients, in terms of being able to have resources to take care of people, and also being able to get a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There are places in the world where it's hard for doctors to get jobs, believe it or not. So then you come and you see and you find, it's great to practice medicine here. And I count it as a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
But there are still things that need to be done
Mm-hmm.
so we can help not just doctors, but patients as well. Because if a doctor is mentally healthy, they'll stay practicing for longer. They'll come to their job with joy. There's a physician shortage in the US. We don't feel it because we're in Chicago. We're close to Chicago. Like there's a hospital everywhere. But if you look all over the US, there's a physician shortage. And what's the answer to that? The answer is not driving the doctors who are already there out of practice because they're like, or driving them to, God forbid, early graves. It's even worse. So to me, yes, we're in this great country where we can practice world-class medicine, but we still need to do the work. The organizations, the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical companies, the doctors, we have to be able to sit down at the table together and come up with a solution that works for everybody. And I know it can be done.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, you have a lot of fire in you, so it definitely can be done.
Yes.
And it will be, especially you're doing your part with this book. Okay, let's see here. What areas can I go into without giving much away today?
Just open a page. Just close your eyes and point. Okay,
You are
I'm
so
gonna
funny.
stop playing now.
You
I'm
are
gonna
so
get
funny.
serious.
But no, this is good because at the end of every chapter you have powerful questions, as you call them,
Yes.
and I have dog marked or
Yeah,
earmarked
I see.
many of these because, well, actually all of them, because I wanted to well, they were for me first and foremost. But it's good, because after you read something, you're obviously, giving us questions to kind of make us
Yes.
think about what I just read, and
How you're gonna make it work for you.
yeah. And I love that. I mean, you're like giving us homework and stuff, This is
Yep.
like cool stuff.
I know.
Brandy
That's the
says
coach in me. Give everybody homework.
homework. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Buddy says you're hilarious.
Thank you. You just made my day.
See, physicians, they have sense of humor as well. Yeah. So they're not all stuffy shirted.
Yeah, we do. We do.
And it's something, because
And
you mentioned in your book about how quite often about how people, think that you all like have all this money and that you're kind of like, well-to-do, stuck up, type thing. When you think of doctors, that's what you automatically think of.
exactly. And it's not. It's not the case. I mean, obviously, like everywhere you go, there are people who have a lot of money and are stuck up. Actually, there are people who don't have a lot of money and are stuck up.
You are so right. You are so right. Oh my God, that is so true. That is so true.
But and you will find doctors who are like that, just like everyone else.
Right.
But it's not as though as a whole group,
Right.
we're all like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, because you're bringing that out for us, so we'll understand. Brandy says here, when physicians are healthier and happier, they stay longer.
Preach.
And that's so true, because that's and there are a couple times I think I did see this one phrase: you can't help anybody else unless you
Yes.
are helped yourself, basically.
Exactly. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Right. I mean, and how often do we do that? I mean, aside from doctors.
Exactly. You can pick on people and it's like, no, stop, sit down, go eat something, stop running on fumes. And a lot of people think that the mentality is, okay. So I talk about this a little bit when I talk about do-gooder syndrome.
Okay.
I think the meeting of a doctor who is also a spiritual person is ripe for being a do-gooder, in the sense that you think you can help everybody at the expense of yourself. Saving the lives of others should not cost you your own. You should be able to have that balance to where you can tell yourself, I'm not going to be good enough for anybody if I'm not rested, if I haven't eaten. And of course, there are going to be days, because surgeons are going to come at me like, well, what do you mean? We operate all day and da da da. Yes, we know, but you're not on call every single day. You shouldn't be. You should be able to take time. I have met surgeons, and actually, I'm actually thinking of two people right now who, because they're very nice, people will call them on their non-call day to come in and do stuff.
Wow.
And because they're doctors, they feel, oh, well, I've been called, I have to go in. So I'm telling them, you know what? In that particular instance, push back, say, I'm not on call. Who is? Why don't you call the on-call person? And when you do that, you empower those people to follow the protocol, and you actually empower your other colleagues to come in and do what they're supposed to do.
There you go.
So it's a win-win situation for all. You get your rest, your colleagues get empowered, and the people who are calling you, who know better, by the way, but they identify like, yeah, that one will come.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens.
And is that probably because maybe somebody else has pushed back and said they're not going to come or something, or they just call the person that they think will come in?
So think about parents, right?
Okay.
When daddy says no, what do? You go to mommy.
There you go.
But in hospitals, there are protocols. There's a day. It's not all just a big mess where, anyone just does anything. Dr. X is on call on Monday, but Dr. Y is nice and sweet and a woman. Let's not go there yet. So we'll call Dr. Y.
Right.
Or Dr. X is actually, I would say, maybe more empowered, because if you call Dr. X on Dr. Y's call, the Dr. X is like, no, call Dr. Y. Or it'll be like, why are you calling me? I'm like, oh, okay. So now, like, oh, that one is sweet. That one is nice. That one is sweet. And then the sweet one gets dumped on. I always say the reward for work is more working.
The reward for working is more working.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, it's like, oh, that one is nice. If you know your dad always says no, you keep going to ask your mom. Mom always says no, you keep going to ask your dad.
Yeah, you know which parent to go to.
So it's just human. It's just human nature, right?
Or you say you go to mom and say, well, dad said,
Aha.
mom said,
Exactly.
play one against the other a little bit there.
Exactly. So that does happen, especially to surgeons. Where you have to call them to operate or something like that.
Right.
So I'm telling people, well, just tell them to follow the protocol. You don't have to be rude. You can be nice. So I said, well, I'm not on for today. Why don't you call Dr. X, who is supposed to be XYZ?
Well, I mean, well, let me stop. I was going to say, don't even answer your phone, but that's something. Because you probably need to answer your phone.
That's something I would do, but I'm kind of crazy.
I love it. Okay, here, let's go through this. We have a table of contents here. I can probably read that. You think I do the table of contents without
Sure.
spoiling anything?
I know.
Let's see. Introduction to the Balanced Life. Introduction to Physician Heal Yourself. She has an open letter to a fellow doctor. And what she's done, once you get the book, when you get the book today,
you better.
She's so funny. You will notice that they're not. She didn't write them in chapters. She wrote them, as she calls it, remedies.
Yes.
And she did that so that it could be user friendly for doctors, though. But actually, without me being a doctor, I was able. I love this format. I really do. So, remedy 1 has here spiritual practices. Remedy 2, physician heal thyself, not by yourself. Yes. I like that. Remedy 3, avoid the do-gooder syndrome, which she kind of just talked about a little bit. The 4th one is examine and dismantle disempowering mindsets and myths. I think I want to go there after I read that.
Okay.
Remedy 5 is change, accept, remove, work through. Remedy 6 is stress less, balance more. Number 7 is defeat, overwhelm. I love that one. Number 8 is win at work, win at life. Number 9 is unmanage your time. Nice play on words there. I like that. Number 10 is life lessons from a doctor coach. And then she throws in a few bonuses here, introductions to the balanced marriage, other books by her and bibliography, and then contact information, all that. Okay. So as I stated when we first started today's session, we're not only talking about this book on today because she's a life coach and she's just kind of, she'll touch your life in so many different areas. So we're going to kind of talk about that on today. So let's see here. All right. I'm getting messages here.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I think Brandy is kind of reiterating what you say, and I'm glad she does that. When you say something, she'll type it in.
Too many of us suffer from the do-gooder syndrome.
Yes, this is much needed. Buddy Gill says the balanced life is the challenge in this microwave society that we live in today.
Yep. So right.
Yeah, and that's
so right.
And that's kind of, before I go to that one chapter, I don't know if they will lead us into that chapter I was talking about, but I want to ask you about that. Or even ask you, my listeners, as well, because as she's talking, we can probably throw ourselves into, what she's discussing on today and how it can help us. Mm-hmm. Because, as Buddy said, this is a microwave society.
Oh my goodness.
We want everything within now, 30 seconds,
fast,
20 seconds,
quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We don't want to put anything in the oven anymore.
No,
that takes too long.
I know.
And we don't have
tastes
time.
Better though.
It does. But in our minds, like, we don't have time for that. Yes. I need to keep moving. I need to keep pushing, or whatever. And I don't have time to be slowed down. So how do we get beyond that microwave mentality?
Right.
Because that's what it is. how can I say this? Okay, so as we came along, and our parents, they taught us how to cook. They taught us how to bake. You use the
Yes.
oven. Sometimes you have to let stuff sit out overnight,
Yes.
or things and
Marinate, put your
marinate or
chicken,
whatever.
seasoning. Yep.
But nowadays it's like you can hop online real quick and get a recipe for something quick. You gotta
Yep.
throw it in the microwave,
Yep.
do this, do that.
Yep.
It's always something quick
Mhm.
because we're always on the go.
Go.
How do we get beyond that microwave mentality?
No.
You're a life coach.
That's
Talk
such an
to us.
American thing. I remember once one of my friends came from Nigeria and he said, "What's with this over caffeinated society?"
Over caffeinated. Are you serious?
Because that day we got up, I went out, came back, went to work, and I was like, "Oh, let's go, blah, 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 to this place." And there's a party tonight, blah, 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 let's go. He's like, "Why are you trying to go everywhere in one day? Look, just leave me at home. I'm going to bed." I'm like, "No, we have to go, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Look, leave me alone. You guys and your over caffeinated society."
He was so right.
I know. And I think that while there is an advantage to be able to do some things faster, right? We don't have to write letters anymore. Imagine if you had to write a letter to me to ask me to come on your show. The letter would take like maybe a few days. Then I'll reply and send it back to you. And then we'll be doing the show in October.
Right.
It was just like, hey, da 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 da. You don't even need people's phone numbers to contact them anymore.
No.
Even when I grew up, it was the rotary phone, and you
Yes.
didn't leave messages.
No.
You just called, and then if they didn't pick up, you came back and called again.
Exactly.
So there are certain advantages to this. However, with everything, there are advantages and disadvantages with everything. So, and what happens is that we forget that it is okay to stop and smell the roses. It is sometimes literally take yourself to a garden and stop and smell roses. It's okay because we've bought into this myth that busyness equals productivity. That's a lie.
Ooh.
You can be busy and not productive.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says be fruitful, not be busy.
Right. I like that. Okay.
Well, I didn't see that in my Bible. It said be fruitful, not be busy. But we've bought into, and have you noticed? Let me paint a scenario for you. Let's say I ask you, "Hey, Annette, how you been doing?" You're like, "Man, I've been so busy. I have to do this and I have to do that. And I have to do that." I'm like, "Wow." Let me come and say, "Hey, Annette, how have you been?" I'm like, "Man, I've just been chilling. Last week I went to the Bahamas and I chilled. This morning I stayed in my bed and I chilled." And then I look at you like, "Must be nice."
Right.
See, we wear busyness as a badge of honor. The more busy I appear, we get some kind of validation from it. And honestly, it's a lot of times we're chasing the appearance of busyness. Sometimes people don't have that much to do. It's just, that sense of, I have to run from pillar to post just because. So now, Are you really busy, or have you bought into this society's myth that busyness equals productivity? And as long as I can tell people I'm busy, I get this personal validation from it. I'm busy, therefore I'm not going to take care of my health. I'm busy, so I'm going to collapse with a heart attack. I'm busy, so I'm not going to have time with my family. I'm busy, so I don't have time to go to the doctor and take care of my own health. That's rubbish, as we say in England.
Right.
Rubbish. Yes.
Ooh, you're ministering to me on today.
Oh my God.
But many of us can relate to what you're saying because you're right. I mean, when you said we wear it as a badge of honor, and I think we do.
Yeah, we do.
I think we do.
Now we're over caffeinated society.
And sometimes even if we plan out, we say, okay, on such and such a day, I'm going to relax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, take time out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start relaxing, you're like, I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Imagine. Or, Shanice calls me and says, "Come and take down my hair. I have my braids." The answer to that should be no, I'm resting. But no, guess what? We're going to go to Shanice's house and take down her hair, even though we don't really want to.
Well, I'm not. But that's another story.
Shanice needs to go to a salon.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
It's like, okay, even if you do a staycation at home,
Mm-hmm.
It's like I feel like I need to be doing something when I'm at the house, either rearranging some furniture or doing something. It's like, you
I know the feeling. Yes, you feel guilty
for
not being.
You feel guilty and all of that. And it's like, Okay.
but you cannot function without adequate rest. Rest is not just an option.
Good
So for
stuff.
me, rest is not, something you do when you've done everything, because you're never going to be able to do everything. And I think there's a part of us that has to be able to embrace the fact that rest needs to be a part of my life. And when I say rest, I'm not talking about working yourself to the bone and falling asleep on your sofa. That's not what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I'm talking about where you get up in the morning, have nothing to do, not because you don't have work, but because you've chosen to take this time for R&R, rest and relaxation. Even the army have it. They call it R&R. You have to, even though they're fighting a war, they will send them home for the R&R. Everybody needs R&R, whether you're a doctor, whoever you are. It doesn't now this is not even about doctors anymore, but in our society, we've embraced that busyness and we feel guilty. I have people who I've managed to convince them to take 1 hour of rest a week. And we were like, so how did you feel? I'm like, so how did you feel after? I felt good. I said, so have you tried to move that up to 2 hours in a week? Because when we're not running from pillar to post, we feel bad. So at some point, we have to re-educate ourselves. And this is where coaching comes in. Because if you've embodied a mindset for many years, this lives in your subconscious. So even if you say, you know what, I'm going to force myself to rest. After all, it's going to be like those cartoon time bombs, like, and you just get up and start doing stuff. No, there are times when I will sit down
Okay.
in my house.
Uh-huh.
There's a bit of untidiness here and there. Yeah, there's a bit. But if you never stop to tell yourself, I need to rest, you'll never do it. You'll never do it. And that brings its own slew of health problems,
Mhm.
mental, physical, and spiritual.
Definitely. Oh my God.
Yep.
She's gonna help me today. She really is.
Okay, there you go.
All right, let me read this comment. Elder Kevin McGee, thanks for watching. I see you on. Anthony Davis is on as well. Let's see. Randy Glass, I saw you. Carla Simmons.
Mhm.
Beatrice is back on. Thank you. Elder Kevin McGee says, being too busy will wear you out.
Yes.
If you are
exactly.
worn out, how effective are you to God or your family?
Or even yourself,
Yeah,
because you are in the middle of that equation.
that's true.
Saving the lives of others, whoever you are, should not cost you your own. And you cannot pour from an empty cup.
You cannot do it.
You cannot do it.
So let's stop trying, guys, because it can't be done.
I love Elder
successfully.
Kevin. He said, God rested on the seventh day. If he rested, what does that say about? Are we busier than God? Sit yourself down and rest your mind, body, and soul.
There you go.
Elder Kevin McGee, you are preaching.
Isn't he preaching?
Yes, he is.
But he says here, I have learned that saying no is one of the greatest stress relievers.
Amen.
I would agree.
And I actually have in my signature coaching program, I actually have a whole module on how I teach people how to say no.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Because it's important to be able to say no. You can't say yes to everything.
You can't. But then it's like, oh, I'm starting to learn how to say no. Trust me.
Good.
I'm starting.
It's so empowering.
Because I'm probably like that one, like you said, they'll call that one doctor will probably say, yeah, they'll come on in, or whatever.
Mhm.
But Annette is starting to say no now. No, I am not going to overwhelm myself.
No.
It's a bit much,
It's a
especially
lot.
the older I get. No, I'm not gonna do
Exactly.
it. No.
And that's sometimes you have to realistically tell yourself the truth. Again, to our culture in America is obsessed with youth.
Yeah.
So we want to, we want to be younger than we really are.
Mhm.
But your body is like, yeah, okay, I'm waiting for you.
I'm waiting. Right.
Exactly. So we think at 40 or 50, we can do the things we did when we were 25.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, when I was 19, 20, I used to pull these crazy all-nighters. I'll sleep 3 hours, 4 hours at medical school. At least that was my excuse. But then I could do it. But now,
No.
oh no.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm not trying to do that.
Wow.
No. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Elder McGee, that is not true.
Is that you're too nice to say
He
no?
said that is not
Okay.
true.
Yes.
I'm telling
Nice-
you no now. No, I'm just
Nice is
kidding.
not a fruit of the spirit. Somebody say amen. Okay,
I
let
love
me
it. I
leave
love
that
it.
one.
Hey Tracy, I see you on. Thanks for watching. Oh my
hi,
gosh.
Alicia. One of my friends.
Oh, hey Alicia, thanks for watching. Question for you.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned about your a friend of yours that came here and talked about the over-caffeinated society. Now, let me ask you yourself.
Hey, Femi, if you're watching, hi.
When you came over, was it overwhelming to you, all this busyness, or this, because obviously, I mean, if he was your friend, that's not what you are used to.
Yeah,
You're used to kind of slow paced or whatever, or
and it wasn't even slow paced because in
recognizing
Nigeria,
life.
we're doctors, so we were busy. We were still busy. So for a
Okay.
doctor to come from Nigeria and say that we're over caffeinated, it says a lot.
Wow.
Because we're not talking to someone who is just, liming in the street, as they say in the West Indies. I mean, somebody who is working. He's going to work every day. He's facing traffic. But for someone to come and say, well, you guys are just so crazy, it says a lot.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Okay. So yeah, when I came here, when I first came here, I guess you say I was a housewife for about a year before I started residency. And when I started residency, it was tough. In England, you get to rounds at 9 a.m. In America, you get to rounds at 7. So it's like, huh? You mean I have to get out of my bed and go
much
and
earlier?
Be in the hospital at 7 when it's still dark.
Wow.
Yeah. So in England, we round at 9. Now, yeah, okay. And then,
that was an adjustment itself, huh?
That in itself was an adjustment. It was a huge learning curve. So yes, it's definitely a busier society all around. And maybe
so you were up earlier, into it earlier, and have longer hours probably, right?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, Buddy says, oh my goodness, I guess he's replying to Elder McGee.
Since I've learned to say no, I've been happy.
Yes.
Please shout this from the rooftops, because people
God.
feel they have to say yes to everything. That if they say yes to X person, that person will be happy, and therefore they've made that person happy, therefore they're happy. It's a lie. It's a lie. Because if you say yes to something you really don't want to do, really don't feel authentically called to do, or even unable to do, because some people, they can't do something, they're time strapped, they'll say yes just to make the other person happy. What happens when you disappoint that person? You'll now be both be unhappy, or you'll do it and the person doesn't realize you don't want to do it. So guess what happens when they need it done again? They'll come and ask you. And now what happens? Resentment starts to build up. But you can't blame them for your resentment. You're the one that didn't say no. And guess what? Here's something people fail to realize. If somebody doesn't like your no, then they didn't like you in the first place. They just liked your compliance.
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
I love it.
Take that to the bank. Tell them I said it. If they don't like it when you say no, they just wanted your compliance in the first place. That person never liked you. Yes, I said it.
Right.
And you can come after them.
So if they get upset with you because you said no, whatever, you have to look at what was really behind them asking you.
Exactly. If I turn to you and say, please, can you give me blah, blah, blah? They say, oh, Annette, I like your earrings. Please, can you give them to me? And you say no. I should know before going into that question that there are two options.
Either yes or no.
Exactly. So she'll say yes, and I'll have a pair of earrings. Or she'll say no, and I'll be back where I started because I never had the earrings in the first place. So why are people afraid to say no? And why are people afraid of hearing no?
That's something to look into, though.
It's just two options. When you're going in, it's either a yes or a no. So people feel they attach so much emotion to telling someone no. And, oh my goodness, they're going to be disappointed. They're not going to be happy. And I'm going to feel guilty. That's not on you.
Yeah.
How they feel is not on you. It's on them. I said no. You deal with it. And of course, a lot of people are people pleasers. So if you have to, it takes a while to come to that point. You're not going to wake up one day and start telling people no and feel happy about it.
Right.
And with everything, for every action you do, there's a benefit, there's a consequence. Some people are not going to like you. But like I said, if somebody doesn't like you because you said no, they didn't like you in the first place, and they're not showing you and themselves who they are.
Ooh.
Yes.
I love her. And as I'm saying that, Buddy says, I like this doctor, and she's still hilarious.
Thank you for calling me funny.
And if you get Buddy Gill, I always tell people, when you get Buddy Gill on here and say that he likes a guest, he really likes a guest.
I'm flattered.
He's hard to please. He really is.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
He's a I call him my big brother. He's a great man of God.
Oh,
but
wow.
you have to really, really do something to impress him. You really
Okay. Thank you, sir.
do. Hey, Jeannie, I see you watching. Thanks for watching, cousin. Let's see. Elder McGee says, I get joy from saying no these days. Alicia says, I
Alicia.
love this woman. I was taught saying no is a reflection of loving yourself.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I love these concepts, though.
Yeah. Alicia has so much wisdom. She's an amazing person.
Is
I
she?
mean, I've never told her this before, but I think that one of the reasons why I stayed as long as I did in my last job, one of the reasons was because of her.
Is that right?
Yes. And I've never told her this before, and I'm saying it in public.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to make her cry.
I know, right? Look,
Alicia, cry.
she is funny. El McGee said he likes you too, but he also called you gangster.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you. I
She
take that
liked
as a
that too.
compliment.
And it is indeed. Okay. All right. Let me go to the chapter that I said. Which one was it? Oh my goodness, because there's so many in here, but one specifically I said.
You said, I don't know what you said.
Was it? It wasn't the examine and dismantle. No,
Disempowering myths. No, was it the do-gooder thingy?
no, it wasn't.
It was something.
Lord,
It's
have
like there's so
mercy.
much in there.
There
even if I
really
say-
is.
Even if I
Okay.
say so myself.
It
you
really is. Well, let's go to that remedy 4. Examine and dismantle disempowering mindsets and myths.
Yes.
I guess we kind of been talking about that a little bit though.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
So talking about self-examination, that's like your first statement here. Self-examination is crucial.
It is.
So I guess it is so important. And I always tell people, be real with yourself. I mean, you have to understand, who you are.
Who you are.
What did she say earlier? What did Alicia say? No, saying no is a reflection of loving yourself.
Yes.
So then, I mean, I guess once you, understand know who you are, maybe you love yourself, huh? Maybe you will do that. Talk
Yes.
to me about this chapter. What was your purpose in doing this? Because
Okay.
even though it seems like it's not necessarily in the middle, but even though it is kind of in the middle of your book, why is it so important for us to talk about self-examination? And why are you saying that it is crucial?
Why do you do what you do? Do you know why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you taking the call of another doctor, even though you know there's not going to be any consequences for you because you're not on call? Why are you running IV fluids on yourself while trying to treat patients? Why are you going to work with a swollen foot, one flip-flop, and one boot? Yeah, I did that. Wow. Why? So when we look inwards and examine why we're doing these things, we find these myths at the root. Number one, and this is a story, something happened to me when I was an intern. We're about to do, because in Nigeria, we do, our intern year is different. You do medicine for 3 months, OB for 3 months, pediatrics for 3 months, and surgery for 3 months to give you an idea of what you really want to go into. Because in Nigeria, residency is 6 years. So once you're in it for 6 years. So they try to make it so that you really know what you want to go into. So while I was doing my surgical rotation, one of the lovely seniors said to me, I said, we're about to go to the OR. You know what? It's not yet time. Can I go grab something to eat? He looked at me. I haven't eaten, and have I died?
Oh my goodness.
Of course, knowing me, I was like, hypoglycemia can kill you. It's low blood sugar. I said, low blood sugar can kill you, right? Of course, I wasn't supposed to talk to him like that, but I was again trying to inject some humor into the situation. Like, dude.
Anyway, like did he like it?
Well, no, he didn't, but he saw the humor and he turned around and gave me a sandwich.
So he understood. At least.
I was like, well, low blood sugar can kill you. But I was trying to tell him, like, look, we can still eat and still go to OR. Yeah. Right. So why do we believe these things as doctors? Because we are taught that the patient comes first. There's an unwritten rule that you don't look after yourself. It's an unwritten rule. Like, tell someone you want to go eat and they look at you like, are you a pansy or a wimp? You should be able to stand here and do this surgery and hold this retractor for hours. And
And fall out.
And fall out. Yes, yeah, I've actually passed out once.
Did
Well,
you?
Once, more than once.
Oh wow.
I've had doctor friends who would feel sick, run IVs on themselves, and go back to work. I remember one day, I was pregnant, and I think I was doing an ER shift or seeing a patient in ER, and I was throwing up like, oh my goodness, like every little thing I would throw up. I would throw up, and so this doctor saw me, took pity on me, and said, "Oh, I have something for you." And she took out and something to prevent vomiting. And said, "Here, okay, back to work now."
Are you
I mean, obviously
serious?
she was trying to help me,
Right.
but there's not this sense of, oh, she's throwing up so much, go home and rest. What? have some Zofran, get back to work.
Oh wow.
So these are some of the myths, this Superman complex,
Mhm.
that we have to put all the patients first all of the time. And yes, there are times to put a patient first. I remember a lady came in one into my clinic, and she had ground her fingers in a blender. Of course, the whole clinic had to stop. I had to look after her, try to send her off to the ER, and she was refusing to. It was a mess. But at times like that, some of these fingers have been ground in a blender, everything stops. But that doesn't have to apply to every single thing. What if you die on the job? They will post your job the next day.
Yes.
They will. I mean, this happened to well, not me, but I lost a nurse colleague.
She's still living.
I'm still alive. I lost a nurse colleague, and over the
sorry.
weekend on Monday, and on the Monday after, they called her supervisor and said, post her job. The woman couldn't take it anymore. She cried so much she had to be sent home, because then the reality hit. But how does someone die on Saturday and you post their job on Monday? So that tells you that, I'm not saying don't work. Obviously, you have to work, but make yourself a priority, even while you make all these other things a priority. And doctors need to be better and become more skilled. And indeed, everybody are doing this. I mean, there's so many examples. I had a colleague who was strangled by a psychiatric patient. They got counseling for the patient, but my colleague was, keep working with those red marks on her neck. And she was a white lady, so.
Oh my gosh.
Go home.
Go home.
She was strangled, for God's sake. But no senior told her go home. Of course, she couldn't take those matters into her hands. And like I said, if it was me, shoot.
I could tell if it was you, they would have been all over.
I would have been like, no, I can't. I can't do this. My neck hurts. I have to go. And I would have, But then over the years, I have become good at speaking up for myself. And I guess, my parents are kind of gangster too.
You got that from them.
My parents, you don't hit anyone back. They just say, don't hit first. So
after that, it's up to you what you're gonna do, right?
Don't put your hands on somebody first. The rest,
oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So
amazing.
So I'm able to speak up for myself. So now I want to speak up for other doctors and other people and tell them it's okay to speak up for yourself. It's okay. It's okay to disempower those myths that keep you in this state of, I can only see patients. If I don't see patients, I'm not a worthy doctor. Do you know how many people have told me, you don't see patients anymore? And look at me like I've just grown a second head. No, it's my medical degree. My degree serves me. I don't serve the degree.
Right.
I make my degree do what I want it to do.
There you go.
It serves me. I don't serve it. And then, I talked also about people say medicine is a calling. Medicine is a calling. And yes, it can be a calling for some people, but it's not a calling for everyone. If it's not a calling for you, it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty and say, they say medicine is a calling. So even if there are things that are not working, you just have to accept them, not try to change them. Or if you want to do some other aspects of medicine, there's so much you can do in medicine.
There's so much.
You don't even have to see patients all the time. You can teach, you can work for insurance companies. There's so much. Medicine itself is like an avenue to so many careers. And people think, I just have to see patients. And if I don't see patients, or if I don't want to see patients, there's something wrong with me. That is not the way to go.
Not the way to go. Oh, I love you. I love you so much. I am gaining so much on today myself. I see a comment on here. Hey, Chris, I see you watching. Thanks for joining us on today. This person says, hey, that's my Dr. Shala.
Hey, Sir Walter, how are you?
He said she fixed my life. He is too funny.
He's too funny.
Well, she and I already talked about you, Sir Walter, because I told
Yeah.
her that I remember her from being on your show a few years ago, and that's why I reached out to her. So thank you for that indirect or direct connection, however you want to say it.
I know.
Um,
Thank you, Sir Walter.
Alicia says, I'm a crier. You pushed me to overcome the odds and go to nursing school in my 30s, and here I am, Nurse Alicia.
Stop
Oh,
putting our business out there. Anyway, I guess I started it. I put our business out
you
there.
did. You really did.
Yay,
Uh,
Nurse Alicia.
That's
Yes.
wonderful.
I would say
See?
to her, so what do you want to do with your life?
Really, really, and get her to thinking. Good. And here she is
And we
now.
would talk. Yes. Yes.
Natasha, thanks for watching. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Beverly, how are you? Glad you guys are on. I am talking with the
Hi,
wonderful
Pastor Nike. How are you?
Dr. Shala is on today, and we're talking about her book, Physician Heal Yourself. And again, this is applicable to everyone, not just those who are in the medical field. So what I want to do right now, Elder Kevin McGee has a show here on Saturdays. We've been seeing him commenting on this thread here. Saturdays at 12 noon, entitled Connections. And what he does for us, for My Body and Soul on Wednesdays, he pins a spoken word in relation to the topic of the day. So I am going to have my producer to play that right now, and then we'll come right back, and I'm going to get your thoughts on this spoken word. Okay. So take a listen.
Taking care of oneself is a no-brainer, right? Then why are so many of us broken down? We have the authority, the ability to advise, but turn a deaf ear to our own voice, or better yet, the voice of our inner us. You see, every time our bodies talk, our minds talk, we act as if it's a stranger. We have the answer to everyone else's ills, but when our mind, body, and soul pleads for some of that self-help medicinal aid, we lose ourselves. Asking God to come and see about us, asking why won't He hear us, need an answer, but He gave you the answer. The same answer that you gave others who were in the same shape as you. Physician, heal thyself. If what God has given you to benefit others is good for them, then it's good for you. So get up from where you are. Walk in the authority that you have been granted. Claim dominion over those things that tries to afflict your mind, body, and soul, and a healing that has been customized just for you.
Whoa! We're doing some snaps.
Yep.
Elder Kevin McGee, you did it yet again. I always tell people, and especially if they've written books or whatever, they'll say, "Did he read my book?" No, he did not read your book.
Oh, wow.
So that I know the Lord inspires him and gives
Really?
him,
Oh,
yes, what to write and everything. He blows my mind every week.
Yeah. And he touched on something. He said, that medicine you prescribe to others,
See,
why don't you take some of it yourself? Because, when you say medicine, like, for example, you have patients come and you tell them, you need rest, you need da-da-da-da-da. And when we need rest, no. We drag ourselves into work with one flip-flop and one boot.
and she said she did that herself.
Yes.
But that's something you should say that, because it's not only the prescriptions that you write out.
Yes.
I mean, like the verbal telling them
yes,
what to do. You all haven't been taking it in yourself.
Exactly.
How often do we do that again? And those of you that are listening, you can understand. You may not be in the medical field, but how often do we do that in our own fields? Whatever we're doing, or you say, here you are, a life coach too, and some of you may be life coaches, you may be authors, you may be whoever, but how often do we give out advice to tell people what to do, to help them, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually,
emotionally,
and then we don't take it in ourselves.
Yes.
Here am I, my undergrad with psychology, and that's my background. And I'm often and people, they laugh at me so much. I have a sister. I talk to her on the telephone. Sometimes she'll tell me, "This is going on, da 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 da," and then I'll get quiet, and she's like, stop analyzing, because she knows that I'm analyzing. I
Of
will
course.
admit, it's like my brain just automatically does that. But here I am with that. So I know I have to take in, what I'm encouraging others to do, as well,
Yes.
for mental health,
Exactly.
so I can't just dole it out and just say, this is what you need to do. And
Exactly.
then I'm
Yeah.
okay. Like I don't have, things that I have to face mentally or whatever,
Yep.
or try to overcome.
Yep.
So we do that so often.
We do. Yes, we do. And I don't know why we do, but I guess again, it's that mentality of, oh, I have to put everybody first. And then it's funny. When we see people who put themselves first, we're like, "Huh, must be nice. You can go on a vacation. Huh, you're taking a spa day. Huh, really? You're relaxing at home. Must be nice. When someone says must be nice, you know what they mean.
Right, right. Like I wish I could do that. Or you're doing that. You must not, be doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Dr. Hill is on. Thanks for watching. Dr. Hill, she has a session here every month, and she is one of our our caller, our
Dr.
resident nutritionist, and she comes
Oh,
on and talks to us about what we should be eating and
yes.
ingesting, and how we should be taking care of ourselves,
Uh-huh.
and the rest that we should be getting. Right, Dr. Hill? So she comes on. She was just on last
She
week.
said the worst patient.
Yes. She is so right. I'm so glad she's got a chance to listen on today. Tracy Kincaid says customized healing. Yeah, that's true. And Tracy will be on with us next month. Tracy, help me. Yes, next month. So we
Okay.
appreciate you. And I don't know how to pronounce that name. Adenike. Adenike.
Yes. Oh,
Did I
you
do it
did
right?
good.
Okay. Thank you for watching on today. I tell you guys, I have a fear about mispronouncing people's names, so I will probably spell it out and ask you how's it go, before.
At least you tried.
Yes.
People have called me E. coli. And I'm like, you see there's a Z in there.
No,
At
they
least throw it in
don't.
there somewhere.
No, they don't. Are you serious?
Yes. And that's why I don't let people call coli, because I was like, no, it's not Ezio coli, it's Ezio coli. You've heard of Jet Li, right? It's Ezio coli, because they'll go Ezio coli and then go E. coli. I'm like, there's a Z in there. I mean, at least you're trying.
Right, right.
At least you're trying. Some
Right.
people don't even try.
I see. And I don't want to be one of those people. I really don't. I don't. Okay, so we talked about the one chapter that I was interested in about examining yourself,
Yes.
dismantling and disempowering mindsets and myths, because we have to. There's no way for us to move forward unless we understand and know who we are.
Exactly.
Understand who we are. So
And why
that's
we
what
do what we do.
I pulled out of there. Wait a minute. What were the questions that came from that? Hang on. Give me a second, guys. Let me go back to this, because I did tell you at the end of every chapter, she normally has, okay. Thank you. She says, I have really, you all know me, Annette, I will have the book highlighted. Okay. So, all right. So here we go. Do your beliefs about medicine empower you or hinder you? Okay.
See, your beliefs about, anything have to be empowering you. You have to have empowering beliefs, and not beliefs that tear you down or make you not reach to be a better person. Like I said, I wrote this book in 2017, but then it was, what doctors are going to listen to you? Who are you? What, you haven't even practiced for a long time. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. You haven't done the other, But that was a disempowering belief. I believe no doctors were going to listen to me, but obviously it's a lie, because they are. Some of them are here. Some of them have bought my book. Some
Right.
of them have signed up. Two doctors just signed up for coaching just before I left home. Just signed up for life coaching. So it's like, yeah, doctors do want to hear what I have to say. So I had to come to a place where it's like, no, I'm going to push through this and just choose to believe that there will be at least some doctors that want to hear what I have to say
Right.
on a larger scale.
Definitely.
And then when you work with one-on-one, it's different, right? Because you get that relationship with people. But then when you're putting yourself out there and people don't get the benefit of knowing you, that fear comes in. So whatever it is you believe about medicine, if you're a doctor, nurse, or look, human being, disbelieve it if it disempowers you. If medicine should make you better, not worse. You like I said, one of the beliefs we have is that we serve the degree. But no, the degree serves us. You know, medicine is a calling, maybe, maybe not. You can only see patients. That's not true. Some people think that doctors shouldn't do anything outside of medicine. Why? Like I meet people and they're like, you're a doctor? Or they'll say, but you're a doctor. And I'll go, it's not but, it's and. Next question.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Okay. So the other questions, what other mindsets have you bought into that may not be true? So why did you throw that question out?
Because everybody has everybody. I'm just going to throw all of us in the same bucket. Everybody has things they believe that are not helpful to them. And it may not be any of these myths that I discussed. You know, like, for example, some people believe that, you know, you should only have one source of income. I'm just giving this. Why?
I don't know how you can do that in today's time, though.
Shoot, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway, some people believe that. Okay. I'm just things that I've heard, right? Some people believe that once you're married, you can't live your dreams. Why do you believe that? Some people believe that, once you have kids, well, that's it. All you have to do is look after your kids and do nothing else. Not necessarily. So what are the things you believe? What disempowering narratives have you believed and embodied? Some people believe that. Some people are so scared to enjoy the good that comes their way because they believe that once they have something good, something bad is going to come after that.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because that is so true. And I don't know, where does that come from?
I don't know.
I mean, it's almost like you kind of ruin
your good experiences.
Yeah.
Yes. But here's life. In life, good things happen and bad things happen. There's nobody in life who hasn't been blindsided by tragedy. But why do you tie the bad things happening to the fact that a good thing just happened? That's not true. So if you believe that every time something good happens, something bad is around the corner, you will live a horrible life because you won't even be able to enjoy anything. And then you're just going to be sitting down, waiting for the other shoe to fall, waiting for the gremlins to come pouring in. Enjoy your life. When it's good happening, hey, hooray, thank God, we're happy. If something bad happens, and by and large, I'm honestly going to say that I would say that for the fact that we wake up every day and we're safe, more good things happen than bad things.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I got in my car, the tires didn't fall off. Because if you think of the course of your day and how many bad things could happen, you will realize that on an average life, more good things probably happen than bad things. I got in my car, the brakes didn't fail, the tires didn't fall off. I didn't run into a train didn't run into me. I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. I mean, there's so many good things that happen every single day. So why do we believe that when we have this great thing happen to us, a bad thing is going to follow? So these are just some of the beliefs that people have. And I want to encourage people that even if you don't have those myths that are in the book, maybe there are some other ones that are holding you down. Examine them, disempower them. And hey, I'm a coach. You can work with me if you want to.
There you go.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to talk about this. Oh, they are loving you on here. Buddy says, I'm guessing that book is a good read. It indeed is.
It's a good read, sir, even if I say so myself.
Beverly says, I think she was saying that it's because of fear. The reason why we automatically think, I think this is what you're responding to. The reason we automatically think that something bad is going to happen after something good happens. And we need to, God doesn't want us to live in fear. So
exactly.
We need to get out of that mindset, and there is a way to do that. In one of your chapters here, because as you were talking, I was reminded of the one, and I'm not sure where it fell, where you talked about the minds in terms of thinking positively.
Was that spiritual practices? Maybe
it may have been. Was
Maybe.
it spiritual practice? Was it that early on? Let me see. Because you were telling me
there's actually a lot in this book, even though when you're flipping, it doesnn't look like it.
It is power packed. It really is. Was it prioritize your peace of mind? No.
That's
okay,
somewhere.
Just talk to us about it. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Let's
prioritize
see.
your peace of mind. What were we talking about?
Okay, we're talking about,
Right.
how you basically, when you mention about how sometimes people automatically think that something bad is going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because something good happened.
Yes.
How come, just like you said, think about the positive things. You got
Yes.
here today. Your tires didn't fall off your
Mm-hmm.
car. Talk about that positive mindset that we need to, that we really should have on a regular basis.
Exactly. Now, I've heard people say things like, you can't force positivity, and it's true. But there are things you can do to raise yourself into a more quote unquote positive frame of mind. And the biggest weapon is gratitude. Because when you see what is working, you'll come to realize that the things that are not working are probably less than the things that are working. I told someone, if you clothing and shelter, you are rich because you're richer than a large percentage of the world's population. If you have family, friends, a job, oh my God, you're wealthy. If on top of that, you have health, and when I say health, I mean, maybe you don't take a pill, or maybe you have something where all you have to do is take a pill and be fine. That's still health, right?
Okay.
It's still health. If you have health, you can move around. You can, even if you're moving around in a wheelchair, it's better than you not even be able to move at all. If you have health of any measure, you're super wealthy because there's nobody on earth who won't give away $1 million for the best of health. Nobody would trade one of their legs for even all the money in the world. Okay, I'll cut off one of your legs and I'll give you $1 billion. Everybody will say no. So when you start to think like that, it empowers you to be grateful for little things. It empowers you to see the silver linings behind the clouds. Because the truth is this, life is weird. Sometimes a good thing will be happening and a bad thing simultaneously. That's life. It doesn't even life is not as binary as we think it is.
True.
For example, you could be okay, you could have fame and recognition and be broke, right? I remember Will Smith was sharing this story of how he after he did Parents Don't Never Understand, that song he did when I was like a teenager, he made it big, and pretty much the IRS came and collected every single last thing he had. So he's famous and he's broke. He's famous is good, but he's broke.
Right.
That's life. A lot of times these things are happening at the same time. And unless we school ourselves to be able to pick the moments of gratitude, and we have to do it on purpose. You can't wait until everything is perfect to be positive, to be happy, because it's never going to happen, because there's always something happening. It's life, right? And of course we don't pray for bad things or whatever, but I don't think it's funny. Just before I left, I was talking to my nanny. I said, there's nobody in life that doesn't have at least one problem. I said, even kids have some kind of problem,
Right.
whether it's their friends who don't want to play with them. And to them, that's a big problem.
It is.
Of course, to an adult, us, they're like, huh. But to them, it's kind of life and death.
It's
So
important.
there's nobody who doesn't have a problem. So why don't we embrace the fact that life is what it is, and be grateful for all the wonderful things that are happening, and work through the other bits and pieces. Because if you have an empowered mindset around the things that are working, then the rest becomes, I'm not going to say easier to face, but then you can face it. But if one bad thing happens and it's like, oh, woe is me, my life is gone, then you're not in an emotionally or mentally resourceful place to even be able to face the things that are happening.
Right. I always tell people everything starts in the mind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It starts in the mind. Deidre says, yes, being positive is a conscious mindset. There is so much to be grateful for. I agree. Hey, Celeste, I see you. Thanks for watching. And VMAC is on as well. Deidre also says, I feel like I hear myself talking. That is my life philosophy.
Kindred spirit.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, and she's definitely one she positive thinker, and she, loves to look at the bright side of stuff, and that's good. And that's good to have those people in your circle too.
Exactly.
Because you could be fighting so much and faced with so much. Sometimes, I mean, you may have that thought Okay, but I want to think positive, but then to have somebody else,
Exactly.
in your circle to kind of help you to get through that.
Exactly.
Maybe a
Yeah,
little patch. Sometimes we hit patches,
Yeah, we do,
we understand that.
And we can't, and the truth is that we don't think positive all the time. That is the truth.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, if somebody died, I wouldn't expect you to be thinking positive. I expect you to cry.
Right.
Because that's the normal reaction to somebody dying. One day I was in a car and I hit a bus, and I said, after the whole incident, I said, look, there was a lady in my car. She's actually my coach at the time, Christina. I said, there was no one else I would rather be in this accident with than you. Because she was like, well, she's like, well, let's just climb out here. Okay, well, we didn't die. And then we literally went and took a selfie with the car in front of her. Well, we didn't die.
She's the selfie queen, I found out today.
She said, well, we didn't die. I was like, yes, indeed, we didn't die. Because if we were dead, only living people can complain about how their insurance premium went up and whatnot. And they're not trying to bury you because of, and the accident, unfortunately, was my fault. But nobody was hurt. Right. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was injured. Even the police that came was all like, yeah, okay.
Really?
So there was no, and that just really forced me to think, oh my goodness, I'm alive.
Yeah.
What if?
Mm-hmm.
There's this actress, I don't remember her name, who says whenever she's tempted to get into those negative spirals of thought,
mm-hmm.
she says, yeah, but, and points herself to a positive thing that's going on in her life.
Okay. And that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah.
And you know what I have noticed in this book, I love how when you give us points, when you give us remedies or whatever, you relate it back to the Word of God, which is a great thing too, because it's so important. You talked about spiritual, yes. Your spiritual aspect mm-hmm. of your life is very important as well. But God would have us to have, to think positive. What is Philippians 4:8? Mm-hmm. Talks about what to think on.
Yes,
tells you to think on good things.
Yes, exactly.
Those things that are good, just, honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure she's still in the Word, even with what
I know. That's my whole worldview. Right?
Yeah,
so I can't run away from it.
Right.
And, Ms. Dietrich Carter says it's not blind positivity. Mm-hmm. We see the real world. It's just not turning everything into a catastrophe. Oh,
I love that.
I love
that's
this.
A very good point, Dietrich. Yeah. Thank you.
Don't turn everything into a catastrophe. Yeah. Don't die before you've died.
Or like Buddy says, if you die, I'm gonna kill you.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. He said that he's funny. And speaking of Buddy, he says, I can recall that my late pastor seems like every time something bad happened or there was a bad news announcement, he always responded with, well, praise God.
Mm-hmm.
And always highlighted the positive outcome of the situation. I agree. And I don't know if Beverly is still on here. When she was on, I told her that I noticed about her every time I would ask her how she was doing. Beverly, what's your phrase that you always say? She said, oh my goodness, Beverly, help me out. I think you said God is good or he's faithful.
Mm-hmm.
She would always say God is faithful.
Right.
No matter what it is that she was dealing with, no matter what that's always her phrase. So thank you for that comment, Buddy. And I totally agree. So, well, praise God. I mean, because at the end of the day, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Sit there and worry over it. And like you said, focus on the positive, then you can kind of work your way through.
Exactly. With that empowered mindset, you can work your way through. Because
love it.
Life happens.
I love it. All right, this is good. You guys, I told you I'm not going to go through the whole book because I want you to purchase it. Please tell them again where they can purchase your book.
It's sholaezeokoli.com, SHOLAEZEOKOLI.com. Or you can just Google Balance with Dr. Shola. Finally, if you Google Balance with Dr. Shola, the first thing that comes up is my website.
Yay. Hey, I love it.
Balance with, because if you can't remember how to spell my name, Balance with Dr. Shola that's my tagline. That's the name of my company. That's the name of my website. So Google Balance with Dr. Shola and click and follow the links to my books.
Okay, great. Now, what I want to do as we are ending today's show, I want you to talk about the other aspects. I was trying to type in your website here, but we'll make sure maybe we can have somebody type it in for us.
Yeah, sholaezeokoli.com.
Okay.
Yep, that's me.
So let's talk about, as I stated, your the other aspect, you being a life coach, and we've kind of thrown it in here a little bit on
Mhm.
today, talk about it. What made you even want to go into that area? Being a life coach. I mean, you're a doctor. Well, as people say,
Yeah.
but you're a doctor.
But you're a doctor,
No.
and there's actually a story behind that.
Okay.
I lived in England for about 3 years, and just as I got my first doctor job after pounding the pavement for 6 months trying to get a job, I got this job. And a couple of weeks, this would be even before I started the job, somebody came to church and was preaching. Her name is Christine Kane. And I looked at her as she talked. I was like, wow, I want to be like her. She was standing there on stage and her words were so impactful. I was like, wow, that's so me. A couple of weeks later, I met someone and he said he was a life coach. I'd never heard that phrase before. This was 2004. I said, what is a life coach? And he started to tell me what he did. And I thought to myself, that's so me. But then, but you're a doctor.
Okay.
What are you looking for? Why can't you be satisfied with what you have? This was the first time I got the inkling to be a speaker and a life coach was in 2004.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it took, 11 years for me to just push down the voices of my fears and just go for it.
Wow.
Yes.
And so you get a certification in this
Yep.
area.
Got certified in 2015. But even without the certification, looking back, even through my practice, like most of what I was doing was life coaching anyway. It's like, well, you don't want to take this medicine. So instead of like, well, you have to take your medicine, can you, let's talk about it.
Right.
What is it about the medicine? And, helping people even see mindsets that were disempowering them. So even before I got my certification, I was kind of life coaching in some way or form.
You were doing it.
Yeah. I was doing it.
And that kind of reminds me of before I even started studying psychology. I was already like counseling, people sometimes, young people. So like it was an influx of young people from my church just coming to me and they needed, advice on this, And that's what kind of propelled me into even going to study. I said, I might as well go to school for this,
exactly.
whatever.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But yeah, so I can understand what you're saying. Tell us about after you, I think it was after you received your certification and you mentioned about your daughter. And what she was dealing with, yes, and then you used some of your techniques with her.
I
Is that
sure
right?
did. Yep.
Can you talk to us about that?
October 24th, 2015. I sat this because when you have a child who sucks their thumb, you do everything, right? You put things on their finger, you tie it, you have these things, and the kids they still work their way around it.
Now, how old was she?
At the time, she was 8, and she had been sucking her thumb since she was 6 months old.
Wow.
Yeah, and we'd done everything. So I sat down opposite her and started to ask her. So you see, I've just become a life coach, right? I've just got my certification. So I'm like, I'm going to put this to good use. By the time we were done in that room, that was the last time she sucked her thumb. So if coaching can help an 8-year-old, one session, imagine what it can do for all of us. I wouldn't be here today if not for my coaches. And I acknowledge them in my book. I wouldn't be here today. And I have coaches now. So, I tell people don't hire coaches who don't have coaches. Because I have coaches even now.
I love it.
5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for different aspects or whatever.
For different aspects. Okay. Yes. So so the thing is that I felt after I walked out the room, I said to myself, if I never make a dime again from life coaching, look at my daughter.
There you go.
This is it. And I feel that helped me even gain confidence in the fact that it works. Because I was seeing it firsthand, and she's even blossomed ever since. Her confidence has grown and all that. So I'm like, okay, this is something that works.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you had it hands-on, personal. You saw how it worked.
I really did see how it worked.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so what I want you to do before we end up today, is to tell us what you want to accomplish, whether it is with this book, with your life coach area that you're into now. What do you want to accomplish, and where do you see yourself within the next 10 years or so? So maybe talk to us about that before we end today.
So so my plan going forward is to go into organizations, give talks around this book, not necessarily just hospitals, but all the different corporate organizations. I've actually partnered up with an organization called Recharged MD. Hey, Fire Life, you're out there. Recharge MD, where we actually go into hospitals and help them figure out this whole physician burnout thing, help them, help their doctors to not experience burnout anymore, to prevent it, to defeat it. So I partnered up with them, and I'm really excited to see where that
Good.
goes, because this is me working on the personal side, but now I'm hopefully getting a chance to work in the organizational side. So, and I can come into organizations and give wellness talks. So it doesn't even have to be burnout. Sometimes you don't wait until you have a fire in the house before you go out and buy a fire extinguisher.
There you go.
You have to have the extinguisher there already. So I can come in as a fire extinguisher, so to speak, and give wellness talks to your church, your conference, your event, your job, your corporate organization. And I believe that the unique perspectives I have can help people. Also, I'm working with another organization where they send me the members of their employees for personal life coaching. So I do that as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's where I see myself going, just taking this message of physician heal yourself to everybody.
Yes. Oh my God. This is wonderful though. Well, I for one am glad. Now you retired seeing patients.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is
Was it in
correct.
2016, you
In
said?
2016, yes.
Okay. All right. And was that a hard decision for you to do?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Okay. But the good thing is that the one-on-one interaction that I would miss, I have it with my clients. I have it when I do
Okay.
radio shows. I'm able to actually impact more people this way than I was ever able to do seeing one patient at a time. Some of my patients actually watch me on Facebook. They listen. Some of them are probably listening.
Okay.
So yes, and I'm able to empower and impact more people.
All right.
So yes.
Well, my next question was, do you miss seeing patients?
Well, I see more people than I can handle sometimes. So no, I've always liked the human interaction.
Okay.
And that was the people part of it was what drew me to outpatient medicine as opposed to inpatient or ICU where people can't really talk to you. But I sit down, have a conversation with my patients. Oh, and we go through all kinds of stuff. There's a patient to come in and I'd pray for them, and interesting stuff.
Yes.
So just that human interaction. I have it in spades. So,
There you go.
Yeah. So what I would have thought I missed, I'm getting it now just because I, made that decision to step out and just
Love it.
do what I felt called to do.
If you guys have not, number one, if you haven't requested her as a friend, go ahead and do that.
Yep.
Because you're going to see, because she does post, as she stated, when she goes out, she does talks and seminars and everything. She posts that on Facebook. I love seeing, I love watching it. And you can tell that she gets such a joy out of what she's doing. Well,
I sure
she's
do.
energetic here today. So, so make sure you send her a friend request, follow her. You will definitely not be disappointed. And make sure, I have managed to type in, as you were talking, your website.
Yes.
So you all can go to her website to purchase this wonderful book, or she said you can go and type in
Balance with Dr. Shola.
Balance with Dr. Shola.
Yes.
Okay. To make sure you, oh, please don't miss her. And like I said, we stated earlier as we read her bio, she's appeared on Fox 32, WVON, iHeart, Outcome Health, and she is a contributor to the Huffington Post.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I would say I was. Then they kicked us all out. Yeah.
She still has it under her belt, though.
Yeah, exactly.
She still has that under her belt.
Yeah, there was a year they just came up and kicked all the contributors
Wow.
out. Yeah.
Seriously?
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
but-
that's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We move on, right?
We
And
move
keep, and we
on.
keep moving.
One last question for you before I go.
Yes.
What's your favorite section of this book?
Oh, honestly, it's got to be. I feel like every time I read the letter to a fellow doctor, it speaks to me every time, and
Okay.
it makes me feel, what, I have to take this message out there. I have to take this message out there. So that for me is actually the favorite part of my own book.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So the letter to the doctor.
Yes. And
okay.
it's probably the shortest part.
Okay.
But I think it was the part that I was the most passionate about when I was writing.
And you were writing.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. You guys check her out, Dr. Shala. She has been with with me on today and with you all as well. And I'm so excited that you all joined us. I see you on, Janice John. Thanks for watching. Gary Triplett, Adrian. Some of the names that I didn't call. Jamone is on. I do appreciate you all for watching us on today and interacting and your comments. I know she was powerful, and you were saying that, and you were agreeing with her on today. Demetria Brand Triplett. I see her on. She said, I love her bluntness. I do too.
Thank you.
I have a new friend here, and let's not make this your last time here on Mind, Body, and Soul.
You're not going to be able to get rid of me.
If we can get you back, because you're all over the world, country, and
you ain't going to be able to get rid of me.
Okay, y'all heard her, right?
You don't get rid of me that easy.
Good. Well, no, I am appreciative of what you are doing. I really am. Again, you have a heart for people. I see that, and you want people to be helped. You want us to have a balance, and that's yes, what we need in this life. The first part of this book will take you from imbalance to balance, and I totally agree. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to apply a lot of these principles myself to my life, to my field, to my area, to my personal and professional life. So I appreciate you for penning this book, and again for thinking about somebody else. Because sometimes we don't do that. We don't think about somebody else.
I know.
We, gather all the information in for ourselves, and
exactly.
Me and my four no more.
Yeah, no, that's never been me.
Good. I love it. Shout out to your husband and your children.
Hi, Josie, Adora, Amanda.
All right. Well, wonderful. Your babies.
And one more wonderful person I need to give a shout out to. That's Auntie Martha. Auntie Martha is my right hand woman.
Wonderful.
She does everything. She's so supportive.
Wonderful.
She's supposed to be my nanny, but she looks after all of us, not just the kids.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So she's my right hand. I call her my right hand woman.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
well, thank you, Auntie Martha. We appreciate you too. All right, this is an awesome show, a great show. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Oh, and I was saying, so my advertisement, my promos, Mind, Body, and Soul was starting on today. So nobody told me that today was their birthday. So you were supposed to let me know if your birthday was today, if you were watching on today, because we want to celebrate with you. We want to give you a cash gift. So I see that nobody's birthday is today that was watching.
So we'll keep the cash.
So we'll keep the cash. She is too funny. I love her. I love your energy, honey. Thank you so much. But we'll continue it on. So we'll be next week and then the weeks after until the Lord tells me to stop. Okay. But I believe he's instructed me to do that because we just want to celebrate you all and thank you all so much for joining Mind, Body, and Soul every week and supporting us on a regular basis as you do. So that's
and don't have a birthday every week.
Thank you. Like someone said earlier today was a birthday when I knew it wasn't. I knew that birthday in September. They're saying it was today. But that's another story. So we're going to get out of here. Go to my website, Get Caught in the Net Radio. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media. You will find us, okay? So next week, we will have Lasagna Alexander Frazier on as our guest, and we have more guests for the month of May. So make sure you guys stay with us, okay? We have some great things coming up. And until next time, I want you to soar and get caught up with Annette.
Thank you.
Get caught in a net with Annette for your mind.